Good evening and thanks for watching Times Television, TTV. You're with me, Wandel Msisia, and it's time for the news. First, the headlines. President Lazarus Chakwera arrives in Mzuzu for official duties in the northern region. Public Accounts Committee of Parliament orders recovery of a 2,000 kwacha paid to a Kabaza operator as lunch allowance in Mangochi. And pressure mounts on Ministry of Justice to expedite prosecution of Dutch national whim Axter. We also have the latest in international news. Please do stay with us. Multitudes gathered in some spots along the M1 road to greet President Lazarus Chakwera as he was traveling to the northern region. Thousands gathered at Lumbadzi in Lilongwe, Mponela in Dowa, Kasunguboma and Jenda in Mzimba, where Chakwera told them his administration is committed to reducing high poverty levels among Malawians. Feston Malekezo has the details.
Before speaking to multitudes what gathered in Mzuzu, Chakwera had whistle-stop meetings at Lumbazi in Lilongwe, Mponela in Dowa, Kasunguboma and Jenda in Mzimba districts. The multitudes exceeded the laid-down protocols in prevention of COVID-19 as they went beyond the 250 ceiling. Physical distance and wearing of face masks was also a challenge on the part of the patrons. Similar instances were spotted during Vice President Saulos Chilima's visits in the northern, eastern and southern regions. Weighing in on the matter, health rights activist George Chobe said technical people that accompany the president and his vice are not doing their job right, and this is confusing to the general public. But speaking in Mzuzu, Chakwera said every region deserves development, stamping authority that M1 road, which is in bad shape, will be rehabilitated.
Nkhani zandale zizikhala zolimbikitsa zipani koma osati zogawa dziko ayi. Chitukuko chikhale chokwanira kwa aliyense chifukwa chake tifunanso ngakhale kuno lero msewu tayendapo ngakhale tinayima malo ambirimbiri koma timayesetsanso kuyenda pang'ono-pang'ono chifukwa msewu suli bwino ngofunika kuti akonzedwanso. Mapulani goma kweni kuno kumpoto kweni misewu yambiri ndiyovuta.
Among other assignments, on Monday, Chakwera will preside over handover ceremony of classroom blocks at Chingaotua Community Day Secondary School, built under first phase of the United States funded project. On Tuesday, the president will preside over University of Livingstonia graduation ceremony in Mzuzu.
Public Accounts Committee of Parliament has ordered Mangochi Municipal Council to recover a 2,000 kwacha that was paid by mistake to a Kabaza operator as lunch allowance during one of his COVID-19 sensitization activities. Acting Controlling Officer Veronica Malembo and other council officials appeared before the committee on queries related to 6.2 billion kwacha COVID-19 funds audit. Audrey Kapalamura reports from Lilongwe.
Malembo told the committee that the bicycle operator was given a lunch allowance of 10,000 kwacha instead of 8,000 kwacha, hence the anomaly.
The bicycle sensitization on COVID-19, so each participant were receiving lunch allowances, and it took place two days. And this person was the one calling his colleagues, fetching for us, his colleagues, to attend the training. So he was given 10,000 instead of 8,000 kwacha.
The officials were also queried for flouting procurement procedures of goods amounting to 6 million kwacha and also unliquidated funds of about 575,000 kwacha, which were used for community sensitization. Park chairperson Shadrack Namalomba said the 2,000 kwacha is public money and must be retained to the government account.
The figure is 2,000 kwacha, but the committee has determined that that money must be paid back. It must be recovered. much as it is 2,000 kwacha, but the public resources don't look at the magnitude of the amount. Even if it is 1 tambala, if you misuse 1 tambala, you must be answerable.
PAC has been meeting several stakeholders as a follow-up to the audit report that National Audit Office released last month, which revealed massive plunder of 6.2 billion kwacha COVID-19 funds.
Pressure is mounting on the Ministry of Justice to expedite the prosecution of a Dutch national, Wim Akster. Akster is answering 2 criminal cases related to the trafficking of 3 girls and sexually molesting 6 students and 3 young women. Child rights organizations have since described the delays to prosecute the Dutch national as an injustice to the victims. Thomas Kachere reports.
At a press briefing held in Blantyre, Advocacy and Public Relations Officer for Eye of the Child, Memory Chisenga, said they are worried with the snail pace at which the case is being handled, despite the police completing their investigations. Chisenga said of late there was involvement of other players like the Office of the Ombudsman, who launched an inquiry into the case after receiving reports that the case file had gone missing at the court. Chisenga added that a team of 5 non-governmental organizations that will be monitoring the performance of the court and the prosecutors shall be providing the public with data concerning the performance.
You can see that from 2020 up until today, the case has not been moving at the court. It has stalled, and we believe that as child rights organization, any delays of justice delivery in the country affects the life of the victims. So our coming together is to speak on behalf of the victims and also to appeal to government through the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution to intervene in this matter. We want justice for these children who were abused, and we do believe that if we speak out today, something will come out and this case will be able to move. We would also want to appeal to the Ministry of Gender, as you have held inside there, that there is need for frequent assessment on the child care centers, especially those that are owned by our friends in the international world, so that we are able to know what is happening, because any child care center that is taking care of children should be able to be monitored to see what is happening on the ground to avoid such cases.
Meanwhile, Executive Director of Family Rights, Elderly and Child Protection, Esme Tembenu, called upon the Director of Public Prosecution to intervene on the matter and work towards increasing public trust, the defendant and victims' confidence in the justice system.
We are urging the government to make sure that they are assessing or even screening foreigners who are coming to Malawi in the name of assisting Malawian children by opening either orphanages or care centers. We are saying this because a lot is happening in Malawi, but it appears we are just watching them abuse our children. So many cases have been heard, but no action taken. If you remember in the past, we heard of a certain foreigner who was also abusing our children sexually, but we did not unveil what he was doing, only to hear that he was arrested in America. The question was to say, what are we doing as Malawians to make sure that we are protecting our children from any type of abuse, including sexual harassment in orphanages and in child care centers. So basically what we are saying is that justice must not be selective.
Wim Akster, a Dutch national, is a former employee of Timotheus Foundation who was arrested in April 2020 on allegation of sexually molesting 6 students who were at the time beneficiaries of Timotheus scholarships and bursaries, and 3 young men.
Some non-governmental organizations have expressed concern over Malawi's heavy reliance on donor funding to achieve universal health coverage. The organizations say this could affect Malawi's health service delivery system. Reports indicate Malawi gets about 58% of its health budget from donors. Matthews Kasanda has the details.
This has been revealed in the Universal Health Coverage and Health Financing Reforms Policy Analysis, whose results were presented in Lilongwe on Friday. The facilitators for community transformation FACT, in collaboration with the Journalists Association Against AIDS, engaged an independent consultant, Impala Insight, that conducted a situation analysis which has uncovered some challenges towards the attainment of universal health coverage. The organizations argue that reliance on donors puts the country at risk in case the donor countries decide otherwise. FACT Director of Programs and Strategy Benjamin Mosisa says there are some areas that the country is doing well towards attainment of the universal health coverage, but the country needs to improve in other areas.
We all know that we, according to the targets that we have as a nation, is to spend at least 15% of our GDP on health. But currently we're spending a little lower than that, which I think it looks like there is more that we can do to close the loopholes through which finances flow out, as well as to pull in more funds to find some of the avenues where we can contribute towards health financing. So there were a couple of ideas that were being brought forward.
Deputy Director of Planning and Policy Development in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Gerard Manturu, acknowledged that the situation needs to be addressed.
Only $11 per capita is what government contributes. The rest is not contributed by donors. In other words, donors contribute about 58-59% of our healthcare expenditure. So it's a very risky situation to be in, and especially as we think of self-reliance in the new Vision 2063, that's something that we must address.
FACT and the Journalists Association Against AIDS secured a grant from the Open Society Initiative for Southern Africa, or CISA, for a project called Sustainable Health Financing for Universal Health Coverage, part of the funding which necessitated the situation analysis.
You're watching news at 8 on Times Television, TTV, Times 360 Malawi Facebook page. We'll be back after this short break.
If there's one thing that all soaps do, it's wash. From buckets to basins, bathrooms to streams, and everything in between.
All soaps wash.
Yes, but Protex is different. Its reinvented formula with flaxseed oil boosts your skin's natural anti-germ defenses by 10 times more, protecting you against 99.9% of germs. So what keeps us healthy?
Protex!
Good health starts here.
Tikolole kungonjezera mayunits ati TNM kuyambira 200 kwacha kapena kuposera pamenepo mutha kukhala mmodzi mwa mamilioneya mu TNM Tikolole promotion. Koma mukaonjezera mayunits ndi 100 kwacha kapena kuposerapo mudzilandira mabonus oyimbira foni, SMS kapena data pompo.
TNM, always with you.
Welcome back. You're watching news at 8 on Times Television, TTV, and Times 360 Malawi Facebook page. The family of a Mangochi-based man who went missing while receiving treatment at Zomba Mental Hospital is demanding an explanation from authorities. Goodson Noel has been missing for over a month now, but according to the family, there is no official explanation from the hospital. Isaac Salima has the story.
Goodson Noel, who was staying with his mother in Monkey Bay, was in March this year taken to Zomba Mental Hospital after he started showing some mental problems. But according to his mother, Veronica Noel, when she sent Goodson's brother to visit him days later, he found that he was not at the hospital.
Around 6 to 7 March, we communicated with someone who had gone to see him at the hospital. They said he was okay. But when he went again to visit him, he was denied to enter into the hospital. After 2 weeks, we sent one of my sons to see him, and he was told that Goodson was not at the hospital.
2 weeks.
The mother, who is staying in Nsumbi village in traditional Thari Nankumba in Mankipe Mangoji, said hospital officials could not come clear to provide his medical details. Gordon Noel, brother to Goodson, said they want Zomba Mental Hospital officials to tell them what happened to their brother.
We were told that he started receiving treatment from 5 to 9 March. It was on 7 April that we heard of his missing after my young brother had gone to visit him.
7 April,
they told us that he was not at the hospital. They suspected that Goodson had escaped when hospital staff were staging a sit-in.
Zomba Mental Hospital spokesperson Hare Kawia said Goodson was among 9 patients that last week absconded from the hospital.
Yeah, this one that you are asking is one of the clients who absconded from Zomba Mental Hospital. Okay, so what I can say that up to now, 5 patients that absconded, we have not yet found them. But what we have done is to inform the media to help us, to inform the public. Maybe these clients are somewhere.
However, the family has dismissed the hospital's claim, saying Goodson went missing in early April this year before the said incident happened.
Some residents of Botanic and Zolozolo townships in Mzuzu have called on government to provide funds for the Luwinga-Mzuzu government bypass road. The residents say the road is almost impassable, especially during the rainy season. Sam Kalimira is in Mzuzu.
The residents who stormed Mzuzu Mayor's office on Friday have threatened to stop paying ground rates to Mzuzu City Council if the council will not push for the completion of the road. Representing the residents, Pomvula said they are demanding 3.5 billion kwacha from the 5.2 billion kwacha which was allocated for the construction of the bypass.
We are concerned that the Mzuzu city is one of those cities that has not really benefited in terms of funding. And this is the sole reason why Malawi has put it out DPP, because we didn't really like the way they were apportioning resources to district councils, but also city councils. And Mzuzu was such a victim. So we are raising this alarm to say we have put it out DPP and now we have the new regime. These are some of the things we don't want to be repeated, because we hope and believe this regime will hear the concerns from the people. This road.
Mayor from Zozo City, Councillor Kwagwanji Nyasuru, said the residents' complaint is genuine, adding the council will deliver the petition to relevant authorities. However, Nyasuru said if the residents will boycott paying ground rates, they will pay in arrears once construction of the road is completed.
The total project cost was about 3.2 billion, but so far what has been received is almost 213 million. It's coming in small numbers, of course, and that is not enough. And the petition is very genuine, but we will see how the response comes back from Minister of Finance.
Construction of the 10.4 kilometer bypass road connecting M5 road at Mzuzu Government Secondary School to M1 road at Ruwinga is behind schedule, with only 2 kilometers of the stretch finished.
Times Group has entered into a partnership with Legal Aid Bureau for the production and airing of a new program, Kudziwa Nimpavu. In the program, the Bureau will be providing lawyers to explain laws in general to the general public. Jameson Jauluka reports.
Legal Aid Bureau Director Saulos Chilima said a lot of people in the country do not know the laws of Malawi. He said it is their responsibility to enlighten masses on what the laws are saying, arguing that people have been found in conflict with the law because of ignorance.
It's not just legal illiteracy, but even just basic literacy. So because of that, it's like a double problem. Most Malawians do not understand and do not even know some of the laws which govern their daily lives. For instance, I'll give you an example of mob justice. People in the villages think they're justified to manhandle, to beat up anybody they have apprehended, whether for whatever offense. But under the law, that is not acceptable, because if you beat up that person, it's a criminal offense. You cannot assault a person. Now what is happening most of the times is that those innocent members of the community who apprehend these so-called criminals, they end up behind bars because they do not understand what is their obligation once they have arrested a person.
Times Television Programs Manager Wanda Msisya said the program will complement another one, the Constitution, in educating the masses on the country's laws.
We also want to come up with programs that are going to address the gaps that might be there in terms of our legal knowledge. So together with our partner, Legal Aid Bureau, we've decided to come together. They're providing the expertise in terms of the human resource. These are legal practitioners. We're providing the platform where we're going to broadcast these programs. So basically what we're trying to do is to make sure that we prepare people when they want to appear before court. What is it that they need to, the basic things that you need to do should you appear before court, but also what happens when you're at court. How do you answer questions, maybe during cross-examinations, but how would you also maybe ask questions?
Msisi and Chankagala signed the agreement on behalf of the two entities at Times Group offices.
The World Food Programme has donated 4 vehicles to assist the Ministry of Agriculture implement its climate change adaptation program. The $9.9 million program will be implemented in Machinga, Balaka and Zomba districts. WFP Deputy Country Representative Makon Kavakante says the 5-year project will transform the environment and lives of people.
Adapting to climate change is an imperative for these smallholder farmers to thrive and succeed. We are partnered with the Ministry of Agriculture because we enjoy this friendship collaboration with them since many years, and we think that the 3 districts identified will benefit strongly from this project. 400,000 people will benefit from this program, and this is a great achievement.
And on his part, Minister of Agriculture, Robin Norway, said program complements government's efforts to break the hunger cycle.
It was like we had a good message or to be adopted, but how to reach these farmers was an issue. So it took WFP to recognize that it won't be easy to reach out to all these affected farmers to come up with the relevant technology And there's an element of insurance to make sure that farmers are prepared in such a way they know the impact of climate change and how to adapt, and maybe the weather forecast and what to grow to make sure that they survive.
That's the news for now, but before we go, the headlines once again. President Lazarus Chakwera arrives in Mzuzu for official duties in the northern region. Public Accounts Committee of Parliament orders recovery of 2,000 kwacha paid to a Gapaza operator as lunch allowance in Mangochi. And pressure mounts on the Ministry of Justice to expedite prosecution of a Dutch national, Wim Axter. You've been with me, Wonder Musisia. You can get more on these and other stories by visiting our website www.times.mw, liking our Facebook page Times 360 Malawi, and following us on Twitter at Times 360 Malawi. Remember to wash your hands regularly, observe social and physical distance, and mask up. Please stay safe. Continue watching the rest of the programs. Good night.